You're ready to make the investment. You want that perfect home for your perfect home lifestyle and home living. But where do you start? Well, I'm gonna give you a little insight as I'm gonna be going inside and I'm gonna sit down with Terry Paterson of Paterson Project Management. And we're gonna talk about the starting point, the process, materials, the people that are involved to achieve the ultimate home project. This is one of the most exclusive custom homes that you're gonna see anywhere. Details that you don't see implemented by just any contractor. But all I can say, the one thing consistent through this entire home is the ultimate team brought it all together.
Starts with the plans, starts with the homeowner, architect getting the plans done, and interior designer and their incredible vision that they had for the inside of this house. And then the landscape, hardscape designer. And then comes to us and we price it all out. That's a process by itself. We like to hard bid everything and let the client know exactly what these things are going to cost and what's going to entail way right from the beginning.
Right.
Because people always start with where they think these things are going to cost, but then we make that a reality before we even put the first shovel in the ground.
I've learned a lot throughout this project. I've seen different elements. I mean, from riglets to rough cut coral to, textures and wood play. Exactly. There's epay, there's all of these different materials. But when you define a luxury custom home, what does that even mean?
Well, that depends on the client. Right. So, yeah, that depends totally on the client. We will always try and push, and maybe push is not the right word. We will always try to recommend the best way to do something and then gauge where the client, how much they want to spend on whatever that item is, and then recommend more cost-effective ways if necessary. This client, I mean, they had an interior design plan that was 150 pages long and every little detail thought out from the beginning. And it was amazing to work on this job because everything was pre-thought. Right. And the client said to us when we said, well, what do you think about this? Well, just follow the plan, follow the plan, follow the plan. That is great. We love that.
Right.
And that's how we managed to build this house in record time for a house with this much detail. So it's very important for us to do an extremely detailed, long-form proposal with breaking out every tiny little thing that we see on these plans that are going into the house, and then sit for hours and days going over that with the clients, making sure that we've interpreted their vision correctly, that we've got it all documented, all written down, and where they can actually say, you know what, that's a little too much money, let's change that. Or you know what, I want to spend more money on these items, let's spend more money over there. Right. That's the importance of an extremely detailed proposal up front.
When a homeowner or someone that wants to build a home sees it all on paper, it's different when it all starts to come to fruition.
Every one of these products that you see on every location is from a different subcontractor or a different, some of our own internal stuff.
Right.
A staircase, for example, there's 7 different trades that are involved in building that staircase.
Right.
You don't just call up a staircase company and go, hey, give me the staircase.
Right.
That's not how it works.
Right.
And our job is to coordinate and make that all flow correctly. For example, metal work is made locally, then the glass is made locally. The wood we would buy from Italy and then installed over here, whereas the paneling on the walls and all the metal paneling that is made in Italy, and all that stuff can't just be put on the wall. you have to do one piece, then the next piece, and the next piece, and all those shop drawings have to be coordinated between each one of the trades.
Right.
They're going to work perfectly. I love fancy staircases.
Yeah.
The more complicated and difficult they are, the happier I am.
No, it's incredible. And to your point of what you were just talking about, all of the different trades coming together, being able to manage not just your own schedule and how you want it all to lay out, but to be able to finish it in the time that you do with all of the different trades coming together and being able to make sure that they show up to be able to do their part. So that way the next person can do their part, because it's just a puzzle stacking on top of each other over and over and over. And going through this entire home, I mean, it's spectacular.
So that's pre-planned months and months and months, sometimes years in advance.
Right.
So when changes happen in the middle of the project, that's no problem, it happens, it constantly happens, but it affects that schedule.
Right.
So we try to make sure that we get our clients to sign off on things so far in advance that they're asking me, why are we picking this right now? You're not even done with the shell yet.
How do you deal with all the change orders and just change of mind, or how someone thinks they're going to live in a space versus what reality might actually pan out, or even how their life might change throughout the months of planning?
Yeah, all of that happens constantly. I try and explain to clients in the beginning, you're going to go through these changes. Everybody thinks they won't, but they will.
Right.
So the way we deal with it is systems. We have very good systems in place. We use a management software that my staff are all very proficient in and use it. So one thing, you can have a management software, but do you actually use it to its full potential? Right. And we do, from our schedules that are extremely detailed. They are almost a training tool on how to build one of these houses. That's how detailed our schedules are.
Right.
Our to-do lists and checklists that are in the system that can be shared with the client, the designers, the architects, the subcontractors, anyone who wants to collaborate within the system, they can. And that's all managed by the project manager and supervisor. Now, each one of my project managers in the company they're excellent. Their attention to detail is incredible. But what they have to do is make sure that the clients and the subcontractors and the rest of our staff follow our processes.
Right.
If you follow the processes, you can get through building like this. It's the days of show up with a set of plans and a blue collar general contractor guy.
You mean you don't show up and put that over your truck and say, hey, listen, this is what we're doing today?
Yeah, it doesn't work like that. It's
no?
way too complicated and detailed. And you got to be so organized.
Right.
There's so much paperwork that people don't see that we have to do to make something like this happen. There's a lot of elements that took a lot of detail and thought in everything, even the wood grain aluminum mold bars that you see everywhere. What I didn't want to do was have wood wrapping on the outside, because wood doesn't last in South Florida.
Right.
As much as it's easier for us to work with, if we just come in and wrap everything in beautiful wood afterwards, that wood 5 years from now is not going to look like this is going to look 5 years from now.
Absolutely.
I want my houses, I try to push the designers and architects and homeowners to let us use materials that 10 years from now the house is going to look exactly the same as it is today. Because there's nothing worse when you come back to a house 10 years later and it looks like it's in a shambles. Yeah. And that comes from choosing the right materials to make it easy.
And it's also the homeowner understanding what goes into maintaining a home as well. Because
too.
A lot of homeowners, like you said, they want to move in and forget about it, not have to do constant maintenance. And there's a lot of materials that need a lot of it.
If you're building a house like this, it takes good housekeepers and good landscape maintenance companies and good pool companies. And even something which I tell everybody, there's a company that comes and cleans the window frames and all the aluminum every 3 months.
Okay.
All of my houses are on the water. Some are close to the ocean, or big open brackish canals.
Right.
And with the winds that we get here, the salt cakes all this aluminum all the time.
Absolutely.
So have somebody just spray it down every quarter.
Yeah.
At least once a year.
That's a great point, because even just anywhere in Florida, even just the mildew that builds up underneath and things like that, but the salt and everything, it's true. And even just talking about linear vents that's in this home, I just looked up and I forgot about it until I see this like 16-foot vent.
Yeah.
I mean, what goes into even planning, that part of the construction?
That's a lot. We like to get our clients to do trimless lights, trimless vents. That's what you see up over here. That needs a level 5 ceiling. Even the returns are mixed into this linear. Right. You can't see it because it's all black, but there's feeds and returns all mixed into those linears.
When we're talking about what goes into perfection of living in a home, in a space that is just, every single corner, this is just book matched, perfect wood across the entire front of the kitchen cabinets. That does not just happen by any millwork company.
Well, no, that doesn't. In fact, this entire section, we returned every single panel and had it redone.
Right.
So those are the kind of things that happen.
Yeah, and that's reality of construction.
Yeah, it all comes over from Italy, and you think that over in Italy they are choosing the veneer perfectly and putting the effort into it, and they did a great job, but we felt it did not match the wood in the master, and we didn't like it, and had to have them send all the panels back and replace them.
Right.
And those things happen. They have to happen, because if they don't happen and we just accept everything that subcontractors and suppliers send us, we're not going to get a house like this.
Exactly.
I tell people all the time, it's not the subcontractors and suppliers building these houses. We build the house. Paterson Project Management staff build the house. So we have to check every single little thing that they do and make sure it's to our standards, not their standards.
Right.
And that's a perfect example of, it wasn't a delay on the job, but it was 3 months to get it turned around. But luckily it wasn't a critical path item.
Right, because you had other things happening within the home and everything. So it's not like you were waiting on that to be able to hand over the keys and be complete with the project.
And it's not just that. We had the same with the wood grain columns.
Okay.
There was a company out of North Florida that does the finish, and some of them came with blemishes.
Okay.
We had to return them.
The problem with most subcontractors is they're going to do a job, and no one's really supervising them, unless there is someone like yourself that is there to make sure that everything comes together perfectly.
Yeah. Well, myself and my team. Because I have incredible project managers and supervisors. Without them, and then my partner who stays in the office overseeing what everybody's busy doing and making sure that all the systems are followed. Because without those systems, we will fall apart.
This island is beautiful, but something that that a lot of people might not notice is the types of appliance that you guys are using. So you don't have a hood over this stove, the different technology and the different elements that have been brought into this, it's really unique. So that way you don't have to sacrifice the design for functionality. There are different things that people can put into their...
Yes. So this would be a downdraft hood, which ends up having a massive duct that goes through the bottom and through the floor and has to go. You got to think about these things in the beginning, because, for example, this house, it was an afterthought to not have the hood up here, and we had to cut the floor open to put in this massive duct that goes outside. So you got to think about these things up front. So it takes a lot to coordinate all of these to make sure that the lines line up with each thing.
Right.
If you notice that the concrete is exactly the same distance from the wood there as what it is over there.
Right.
And little things like that make a difference. And it's hard when you got windows that are already put in a year before that.
Right.
Making sure that these kind of lines don't line up straight into the door.
Right.
Where the different floor elements join. So those are the little things we adjust on site and make sure are right.
Yeah, and to the credit of the landscape architect and that whole indoor-outdoor feel, it carries through every single room. We're in the master, but you feel like you're outdoors, and being able to open up these sliders, being able to walk right out there and basically have your own section of the pool as well. I mean, it feels
Yeah.
like you're in a resort every single day.
That's the idea. Feel like you're on vacation every day. So if you notice on the outside,
Yeah.
the thickness of the fascia is skinnier than most other contemporary houses.
Okay.
Well, how you get that is most of the time you need that. They got that big fascia on these contemporary houses because you need space for air conditioning ductwork.
Right.
So if you look over here, we have the doors slightly higher than the lowered ceilings.
Oh, right.
So instead of creating blind pockets, just at the door, this whole section becomes a blind pocket. So it allows us to have a 6 or 7 or 8 inch higher door,
Absolutely.
bring the ceiling down on the inside, and you've got your blind pocket, which we then put lights on as a cove. What it does is it creates smaller lines on the outside of the house.
Wow.
When you look at it, you're going to see
Yeah.
much skinnier spaces between floors, even though they're actually bigger because we dropped the ceilings.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that because you can see the door goes right up to the ceiling.
What that also allows then is that the blind can be now tight up against the door, as tight as possible to get you as much blackout as possible.
You know, there's a lot of challenges to be able to bring this all together.
Yeah.
Are there any features or anything that you guys did on this home that you would say, you know what, maybe second, if someone comes to you with it in the future, you gotta second guess it or maybe steer someone away?
Look, there might be some things I would want to say yes to, but I enjoy the challenge.
Yeah, absolutely.
It doesn't matter what you throw at me, I enjoy it, and my staff enjoy it too.
Yeah.
We don't want just a plain old house.
And that's what we love to see, because the thing is, like, looking at everything that had to come together so perfectly to make this come together the way that it did is impressive. Your team is incredible. I mean, yourself, everybody that really worked on this day in, day out, you can see just their passion and just passion for perfection really shines through.
Yeah, that's the truth.
So, well, I can't thank you enough for bringing us on here. This is absolutely incredible.
Oh, thank you.
One of many more.
Thank you.
So, but thank you. Make sure that you follow Paterson Project Management. Get familiar with their work. See this project, the detail, the passion, the drive, and everything that brings together a luxury custom home right here in South Florida.